So you like Spider-Man? Yeah, me too. Great guy. Swings around, quips a lot, saves the day. But you know who doesn't like Spider-Man? A whole bunch of people. For every person he helps, sometimes a villain emerges with a vendetta. Today, a quick rundown of Spider-Man's worst of the worst. We'll hit the big names, their origins, powers, and why they hate our hero. Quick fact style. Fast, punchy, and useful for Comic Club. Alright, let's swing right into it. First up, Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin. Norman Osborn, rich, brilliant, and under immense pressure. A lab formula explodes and the serum drives him insane and powerful. He dons a green suit, hops on a glider, and starts throwing pumpkin bombs. Worse, he's Harry Osborn's dad, making it deeply personal for Peter. He targets Peter's loved ones and identity. Not just Spider-Man, Peter Parker, an agent of chaos and long-term emotional damage. He sets the standard for making Spider-Man's life miserable. Next, a guy with extra arms, Dr. Octopus. Otto was a brilliant nuclear physicist who created a tentacle harness to handle dangerous materials. A lab accident fused the harness to his body and scrambled his mind. Doc Ock fights with brains and reach, tactical, lethal, relentless. At one point, he even swapped bodies with Peter, becoming the superior Spider-Man, a recurring intelligent threat who forces Peter to outthink him. Now, the clingy X-suit, Venom, not just a villain, an alien symbiote that bonds to hosts. It bonded with Peter first, enhanced him, then made him aggressive. Peter separated via church bells. Eddie Brock, ruined and angry, bonded with the symbiote. Venom was born. Venom has Spider-Man's powers, amplified, and doesn't trigger spider sense, a dark reflection of Peter, driven by rejection and vengeance. Over time, Venom grows into an anti-hero, but his origin is pure vendetta. Flint Marko, Sandman. Not a genius, just a desperate man. He turned to crime to help a sick daughter. Wrong choices for right reasons. A freak accident at a test site bonded his body to sand. He becomes a living sand creature, changeable, huge, hard to hit. He can change shape, density, size, giant hammers, diffuse clouds. How do you punch sand? You can't. It's a nightmare for Spidey, often a reluctant villain, a tragic figure more than a mastermind. Battles usually use water, vacuums, or traps to contain him. He's complex, sometimes ally, sometimes threat. Next up, a surgeon who should have stuck to herpetology, the Lizard. Dr. Curt Connors, a gifted surgeon who lost an arm and sought a fix. He studied reptiles' regenerative powers and made a serum from reptile DNA. It regrew his arm, but it also turned him into a giant lizard monster. As the Lizard, speed, strength, sharp claws, a heavy tail, and scaly armor. He can command reptiles, a primal, dangerous leader of beasts. The Lizard persona is savage. Connors himself is trapped inside. The tragedy is real. Spidey fights to stop the monster and save the man, often whipping up an antidote. A classic Jekyll and Hyde. More tragic than purely evil. Next, a dude who had a really bad day at work. Electro. Meet Max Dillon, electricity incarnate. Max Dillon, an overlooked lineman who felt invisible and powerless. A freak strike gave him the ability to absorb and generate electricity. He can shoot lightning bolts, ride power lines, and short electronics. His drive, respect, and headlines. He wants people to finally notice him. Electro is dangerous. He fries tech and overwhelms Spider-Man's gear. Spidey usually uses clever tricks, overloading him, grounding him, or shorting his systems. At heart, he's insecure. A powerful but attention-seeking adversary. Next, the guy who fakes magic for a living. Mysterio. Quentin Beck. Special effects artist turned master of illusion. He doesn't need powers. He has cameras, fog, and a fishbowl helmet. Quentin Beck. A special effects genius whose career stalled in Hollywood. He uses illusions, drones, fog, and holograms to stage crimes. His aim, frame Spider-Man and then defeat him publicly. He attacks Spidey's mind. Hallucinations, doubt, and sensory overload. Drones, gas, realistic holograms. Mysterio's toolkit is theatrical and lethal. Spidey must rely on logic and evidence, not just his spider sense, to expose him. Mysterio is smoke, mirrors, and very expensive theatrics. Next up, an angry old bird. The Vulture. Age plus tech equal sign, Adrian Toomes. He built wings and flew straight into crime. Adrian Toomes, brilliant engineer betrayed by business partners. He built an electromagnetic flight harness and refined it in secret. Fired and furious, he donned wings and took to the skies as the Vulture. Silent flight and aerial attacks posed a novel threat to Spidey. He's older, patient, and methodical, not a hot-headed kid. Ground him and remove the suit, and he's just an old man. Aerial combat forces Spider-Man to adapt his tactics. Next, brute force personified. Rhino, Alexei Sitsevich. Muscle for hire. He's a living wrecking ball. Alexei Sitsevich, small-time thug who signed up for a super soldier experiment. The experiment fused near-indestructible polymer armor to his skin. Super strength, speed, durability. A living tank with a horn. He charges and smashes, not subtle but devastating. Often used as muscle by smarter villains. Great for diversions and vault breaks. Spidey must dodge, use the environment, and trap him. He's brute force, not planning. The opposite of a schemer. Environmental traps usually work best. Finally, the man who runs the city from the top. Kingpin, Wilson Fisk. Not a powered monster, but a mountain of a man and a mastermind. Wilson Fisk presents as a philanthropist, but controls the city's criminal underworld. No superpowers, just peak human strength, agility, and ruthless training. He's a master strategist. Legal, financial, and violent fronts are all weapons. Fisk attacks Spider-Man on every level: media, courts, finances, and muscle. He can go toe-to-toe with Spider-Man in hand-to-hand combat. But most of his work happens behind a desk, pulling strings across the city. He hires supervillains to do his dirty work, rarely gets his hands dirty. A corrupt system personified, he forces Peter to be detective, strategist, and hero. Kingpin is not flashy, but he's one of the toughest foes because he controls infrastructure. You can't punch a legal case or a ruined reputation, and that's his power. Quick recap. The Rogues: Green Goblin, Doc Ock, Venom, Sandman, the Lizard, Electro, Mysterio, Vulture, Rhino, Kingpin. Each unique trouble. Brains, brawn, tragedy, tech, and theatrical deception. All this makes Peter Parker's life consistently and spectacularly hard. Homework, school, love life, and being the city's wall crawler. It's a wonder he has time to sleep. Also, lots of people in animal costumes. Who's your top Spider-Man villain? Vote in the comments. Deep cuts like Big Wheel are welcome. I won't judge. If you like this rundown, hit that like button. It helps a lot. Not subscribed? Do it now and ring the bell for more deep dives. Tell me who you think is the worst and why in the comments below. Thanks for watching this quick tour through Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery. If you want more, support the channel. It really helps us grow. Hit subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss the next one. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next video. Stay safe out there, true believers. Watch these next deep dives, origin stories, and more Top 10s.